Good evening and welcome to my broadcast Letters from the Light Side. My name's Annie Conboy and I'm an intuitive medium and psychic, and I'm here to channel the information that my guides and inspirers give us or want to give for the energy that we're working through at the moment and the upcoming energy for the week ahead. I'm live on Facebook, but you can also catch me live on YouTube, my YouTube channel. Oh, sorry, Rafe's already doing a song and dance in the background. Or you can watch me on Catch Up on either of those. I hope that you can take something from this message. It isn't for individual messages. It's kind of for all of us. to help us have some something to inspire us through the week, basically. So well, she says. What I've been chatting with Rafe about this week is about how we seem to kind of make one step forward and then end up 3 steps back. So you might have felt this week that, yeah, okay, I'm making progress, but then I'm going backwards. And feeling a little bit frustrated, also feeling like that's what the world's doing, because no sooner have we kind of thought, right, well, we might get a little bit of a handle on things like the Delta virus, along comes another virus. As if to say, humans, you haven't sorted it yet. And in terms of things like climate change, we might get some good news, some positive news, and then another contract gets let for destroying the rainforest, or countries who decide that they don't want to do anything much particularly. And so on a big level, it's 1 step forward and 3 steps back. But also this week in our personal lives, we might have felt like, oh yeah, I'm making progress, and then poof, back I am again. And I have to say, for me, that's been really interesting, because a couple of weeks ago I became wheezy. My asthma flared up. It does occasionally. Every once in a blue moon I have a more serious asthma situation than normal. So this time it chose to flare up just at the beginning of December. And I'm still thinking every day when I go up, oh right, 1 step forward, today's not going to be an asthma day. And then 3 steps back in the afternoon when I go, oh, I'm exhausted again. So I've been asking Rafe, what's this 1 step forward, 3 back? And he's been smiling and just gently reminding me that progress isn't always step after step after step. Sometimes we have things that feel like they're setting us back or holding us up, and it's actually connected with maybe giving us a pause, asking us just to have a little bit of solitude, take a little bit of care of ourselves, and let things end as they need to end. Some things in my life have ended this week, and so I'm excited because I want the new beginnings. I'm sad because I've got endings. So you might have found yourself also in a bit of a muddle about, am I going forward, new stuff, am I going backwards, old stuff? Just getting that kind of pull and push and wondering what on earth, why isn't it life just going straight forward? There's a lot going on energetically. We've got some very powerful planetary influences. We are influenced by the planets. Their energy is part of the energy of our solar system and our universe, and it naturally affects us. And so would the solstice, which is reminding us to kind of look at the shadow side and see if there's anything else we can release. Look at the shadow side and say, right, okay, I can live with that. We aren't always nice, and there's no requirement to be nice 100% of the time because that would be perfection, and we're not ready to be perfect. We're here learning to be good enough, not perfect. So please, if this week you've been telling yourself off, if you've been a bit heavy on yourself or judgmental about yourself, please remember there isn't a perfect answer to everything. Hard though it may be to accept that, sometimes we have to go with it is what it is. Now, Rafe knows how much I hate that saying. It is what it is. But I do recognise I have to use it, I have to accept it. And in the steps back bit, I'm often going, it is what it is, waiting for the opportunity to step forward, because that's part of it really. It's just giving us time to prep ourselves, giving us time to say, right, I can move forward and I can do it comfortably and in alignment with what I want for myself. So remembering that we are influenced by the energy of the world, the energy of the planets, the energy of the universe. Remember that we're energy ourselves, and at this time of year there's a lot of challenging energy. Remembering that we are still trying to get our heads round what this whole COVID lark is about. We've got big lessons, big spiritual lessons as a result of COVID. We've got big lessons as human beings, not only the spiritual side, but as human beings. The thing that we're doing is we're facing the realities of being human, that we aren't always nice to one another. We don't always think about everybody else, and that sometimes we really put our own needs in front of everything else. Now, I have said, and Rafe has said, we do need to be aware of, and we do need to be looking after ourselves. But there's a difference between looking after ourselves at the expense of everything else and looking after ourselves so that we can be of service more to one another. And that's an important thing, that's a thread that's coming in at the moment, is how do we be of service? How do we make the changes that we need to honour that we have to work as a whole human race with a global approach to the biggest things that are affecting us. And that's where the spiritual test comes in. Can we set aside some of our stuff? Maybe some of our shadow side needs to go on one side while we say, no, actually I want to be of service. It's the bits of me that don't want to be of service have got to be just left behind or parked or put on one side, so that we can make that shift. And we have got sorry, I'm just laughing because Archangel Archeliel's just jumped into the room. He's here because we have got forward momentum, we have got accelerated motion. The things that we face, we will overcome. That the inspirations, the ways through this will pop up, and it's on us to try to make sure that we all do whatever's necessary to allow those inspirations to take us forward, that we try to do things a different way. Our Sheliel is a bundle of energy. He's the starter energy. He'll get you going and get you moving if you get stuck. And our Sheliel wants to say, what he also does is he brings the inspiration, the ways through the bits where we seem to be stuck. He's very, very good at getting us to aim for the stars, to reach out there and say, that's my dream, that's where I'm going. And then to get us across the troubled seas, to get to where we want to go. So he's bringing the archangel energy in at the moment. He's bringing it into your life in so many different ways that you might need to think about, that feeling frustrated at going forward and then having to go back, is actually our Shelley reminding you that maybe the step you took forward wasn't in the right direction. Maybe it needs a bit of quiet to think it through again. I, sorry, I'm laughing because several times this week I found myself going in an opposite direction to a route I would normally go, and thinking, "What's this about?" And dear Arshellio was trying to sort of say, "Look, there are lots of different ways to get to what you want to achieve. There's a lot of different ways to get to the outcomes that are good for you and for everybody. So think about the different ways. That's where the inspiration can happen, when we take that kind of intuitive leap and stop doing things the same old, same old." So again, this week you might have been feeling like, I'm doing this all the same way. How do I do it a different way? How do I change this up? And that will be our Shelley's energy wanting to bring to your attention that there are things that you can do that make it very different for you, that you can change it around, change your energy, and the whole of the energy of the world will change. He's laughing and saying the flap of a butterfly's wing. It's really, really right. If we change our energy and our approach to things, how much things shift. I'm smiling because I'm wearing some amber tonight, and I love amber because it really connects me with the past, with our ancestors. And our Shelley's reminding me, our ancestors faced the same sort of challenges. And he's not talking about the recent ancestors, he's going back thousands and thousands of years to the times where we were evolving from the position of maybe not knowing very much beyond our world and trying to find ways forward, trying to understand, trying to take the steps into building a positive, happy human life. And we did have positive, happy human lives. Despite not having some of the things we've got today, our ancestors still had lives of meaning, and that's our Shelley's clue. We are looking to make our lives meaningful. We're looking to change the global structures so that they have a meaning to who we are now and to what we hold important now. I have had lots of discussions with the archangels about what is important, and very much they bring it back to a life well lived, a life that continues to move forward, that does allow for change, and where we can find the love and the joy and the excitement of being human, not finding the shadow constantly, but looking for the sunlight of a human life. And right now, faced with those shadow side challenges that are current, we also have to try to look at the sunlight, the little glimmers of hope and beauty. The fact that we somehow developed the vaccine, it had been sort of a technology that was being developed before anything happened. Somehow we've found a way to be community with one another, even if we don't physically see one another. I'm just reminded of my Zoom classes and my Zoom groups. It is certainly something that was an enormous lift to me in a tough time, to be able to relate to people and to talk to people, and to be able to just interact. I think sometimes we've forgotten how important that is. This ability to interact without needing to be physically in the same place. that's a great stride forward. You know, there are positives in our lives that we have to value and see, and they are the things that will help us to reshape the world and to help us to deal with any future challenges that may come along. Um, Shelley was talking about the next few days, the next week or so, and you might be feeling a little bit flat because the energy of the world is flat. There are lots and lots of demands, lots of stresses. And he says it's important when we've got stresses around us to remember to take the solitude, the time for ourselves, to remind ourselves that we can't accomplish everything in one day. uh, I tend to have a list as long as my arm and get to about, I've just got to the wrist. I've started the list and got to the wrist and thought, oh, I'm not going to do the rest. He's asking us just to give ourselves the time, the space, the energy, the love to acknowledge that we're doing what we can to take on board that we may have to do things differently than we expect, that sometimes the unexpected brings outcomes we're not too thrilled with, but to take the week and the energy and to continue to look for the sunshine. I get a lot of sunshine from my family and friends. I get a lot of sunshine from the Facebook connections that you very kindly, your messages are wonderful. I get a lot of strength and support from my connections with others, so that even if I may have to be alone at times, it's part of the ebb and flow of life. It doesn't stop me making those steps forward. Over the next week, you may find that you are accelerating spiritually, rather than we tend to look at moving forward on material terms. At the moment, we're moving forward on spiritual terms. I'm afraid that there is still some stuff to be revealed that is not going to make us feel any better about the rest of humanity. It's not going to make us feel like everyone works for the good of others. There are some hidden agendas that are going to see the light of day, and we have to have the discipline to say, right, that's not the way we want to do things. We have to have the discipline to say we will do what's the best for all of us together, united, and not to move into divisive talk or divisive thinking. It's very easy when you're frightened, or Shelley says, very easy to get onto the wrong foot, to start going backwards rather than forwards, going back into the fear and back into the distress and the anger. And really what he would like everybody to be aware of is we can't deal with it if we don't see it. This is why we do shadow side work, so that we can see it, embrace it, acknowledge it, and choose not to live from our shadow side. We all have flaws, we all have failings, we all make mistakes. It's not about that. It's not about beating ourselves up. It's about remembering that we have choice. We can continue to make those mistakes. We can continue to choose a path that's not the best for us. But that's why we need to see all the shadow, we need to see all the agendas, because then we can choose to do it differently, to take a different route, and to move ourselves forward in a different, united way. So look for those spots of brightness, Take the love and the laughter wherever you can. Sorry, Rafe's just singing at me. He always comes with a song to to G me up a little bit. Currently, he's playing Killer Queen in my head. I'm a big Queen fan. It always gives me a smile. So I'm also a Carol fan and a Christmas music fan. You know, it's just when you've got some joyful music or some gutsy music, for me, it gives me a lift. So look for what lifts you in the coming week. Especially look around for the people around you. Look for the ones who will boost you. We take turns at boosting each other. If only we would recognise that it's our gift to each other to bring that light in and to bring that positivity so that it can be returned when we're not feeling 100% or totally positive. So take that. Remember, the archangels are with us, especially the Earth's archangels. They're guiding us through this really turbulent energy. They're holding it steady for us and trying to help us to make sense of it all. If that's at all possible, who knows? And that I need also, Rafe says, I really need to mention your loved ones. I've been very fortunate over the past couple of months to do some public mediumship. It's been really nice to get out there again and to be able to give messages in public. But what is so apparent, so real at this time of year, and another reason why I love it, is that our loved ones in spirit do everything they possibly can to show us that they're here. We may dismiss it with our rational mind, but they do their very best to show us. And one of the ways they do is to speak to me so I can pass the messages on. But one of the things they also do, they play games, they move your stuff around, they'll play music that has meaning for you. They'll get people speaking to you. I always know my mum's around when people call me a slightly different name than my name that I use, because my mum always used a different name, and I get people regularly calling me that, and I go, right, okay, mum's in the room. Mum's in the room keeping me sorted. So just be aware of how much your loved ones want to help you to get that momentum moving forward, to move your life in positive ways, to have really good outcomes, and for you to have the happiest time you can, a life well lived, every step of the way, every day. So I hope that you can take that message from your loved ones, and I hope that you can hold on to that in the week to come and remind yourself that they are walking with you. They are helping. They want to make the changes that are good for you. So if things aren't changing, look at it a different way. Ask yourself if they're trying to bring something better in. And can you let them bring the better in? Because it might work out that it's the best yet. Thank you very much for listening this evening. Thank you for everybody who passes on information about this broadcast and shares it, and I really do appreciate it, and your kindness in your comments. As I say, I'm still 2 steps back. I'm hoping to get to full fitness again next week when I'll be back. I'll be back again on Thursday at 8:30, hoping to speak to you all wherever you are. And I did see a lovely lady say hello from America. So thank you very much, everybody, wherever you are. It's so important for me that I can get the messages of the guides out there. Take care, everyone, and I will see you soon. Have a good week. Bye.